today, to continue our digest theme about prebiotics and probiotics. Now, you've probably heard of probiotics, you might not have heard of prebiotics. Probiotics are beneficial bacteria, generally that you take in a supplement form, to help your gut health. So we're talking a lot about gut health this week because it's part of our rest and digest week. Gut health is essential to overall health and to mental health. It's really implicated in IBS is an obvious one, but also the digestion and absorption of the food that we eat. It's implicated massively in mental health, in how inflamed our body is, and how inflamed our body is affects everything. So many really serious illnesses stem from having a body that's chronically inflamed. Also having good gut health helps your immunity. So there's so many reasons to look after our gut health, and it's actually a lot simpler than you might think and doesn't need to cost a fortune. So one way that you can improve your gut health is to take probiotics. Now, probiotics can be quite expensive, and you really do need to be careful which ones you buy. There's such a variety of quality and price and effectiveness. So I'm not going to talk too much about that now. That's another really long video. And I don't take probiotics for that reason. Plus, I'm renowned for buying supplements and forgetting to take them. So I try and get everything that I need. I don't always manage it, but I try and get everything that I need through my diet. One thing I do supplement is magnesium, but that's a whole different subject. So probiotics you can take in a supplement, or you can eat probiotic rich foods. So probiotic rich foods are things like kimchi, which I'll talk about in another video, kombucha, again I'll do another video because they're my two favourite ways of getting it. I make kombucha and I make kimchi. Some of you will have made kimchi with me before, and anyone who's worked with me will have heard me talk about these things. Other ways to get them are yogurt, sauerkraut, tempeh, basically most fermented foods other than alcohol, sadly, sourdough bread, miso and kefir. So they're all really rich in probiotics, and including them in your daily diet can be really beneficial. I try and have something daily. I don't always have it daily, but when I feel that I need it, I always turn to those things. So that's probiotics, that's like the bacteria already made. Prebiotics are foods that you can eat that help the gut bacteria to kind of reproduce, to produce more of themselves, so you don't need to take the probiotics. You don't need to do loads of prebiotic stuff and buy probiotic tablets. If you do some prebiotics and include some probiotic rich foods, you would definitely be covered. So prebiotic foods are generally things that are high in fibre. The list I'm going to tell you now is not an exclusive list. There's an extensive list of things that can be prebiotic. These are just the kind of more common ones. There's a lot of quite obscure things that you might not eat that often. So I've just picked the ones that I include in my diet. So I've got ginger, garlic, onions and leeks, avocados, chicory root and burdock root. Now, chicory root and burdock root are the weirdest ones on the list, I think. Chicory root I included because in a lot of coffee alternatives that they're really rich in chicory. So if you do have one of the coffees that aren't really coffees, you might find that it's rich in chicory. And burdock is one of the more common kind of weird things. Another thing that you could include in your diet more at this time of year, I think they're in season, is Jerusalem artichoke. They're really hard to get here, so I don't tend to eat so much of them now. But what prebiotics do is they like feed the bacteria, the good bacteria in your gut. So your gut is billions and billions of bacteria, not just your gut, our entire being really is billions and billions of bacteria. To simplify it, there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. And you want some of each, but with modern life and the stress and the processed foods and the sugar and the alcohol, sorry, I don't know if you can see the dog, but he's throwing pine cones for me. So all of these things affect the balance of the good and the bad bacteria. It's very easy to let the bad bacteria start to take over, and that's when you get all the bad things about having an out of balance gut microbiome. That's when you get the inflammation. It can affect your mental health, all the things I mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's really obvious and you can have a really quick result with these things. Sometimes it's more like taking a medicine, and you might need to take them for a few weeks before you really feel the difference. Hope this makes sense. If you've got any questions, again, let me know as always. With the prebiotics, just another quick route, I try and eat them raw whenever possible. But obviously with some things like leeks and stuff, you're not going to eat them raw so much. And any high fibre things are a good thing. So even like brassicas, like cabbage and kale and stuff, they can be a really good addition to get some prebiotics. They're just not as high as the ones I mentioned before. I hope that makes some sense. I hope it helps after your overindulgence possibly of Christmas Day. Try and include lots of prebiotic foods in your diet. Thanks, Lucky. Nearly got through a video without him barking. I think he's about to kick off, so I'm going to say goodbye. See you on the next one.